Hello and welcome to round 12 of season 3. It is the German Grand Prix of season 3, and Esteban Ocon leads the championship after nearly winning a second race of the season. In the first 11 races, we have seen 10 different winners. Only Nico Hulkenberg winning 2 races. Esteban Ocon nearly joined him on that list, but unfortunately he didn't after on the final corner of the last lap of the race, he got a puncture. There is a yellow flag out because Lance Stroll has crashed out somewhere. Yellow flag sector one again. I can't tell you why. I'm trying to figure it out, but it's difficult to figure it out and stuff. I'm assuming it's through the exit of here. They're going quite slow at the exit of turn 1, so it keeps going yellow flag. Alonso's lap is being deleted, it looks like, as we're going to head to Alex Dunn. Okay, Pierre Gasly is now going for turn 1. Now head to Sergio Perez, who's going for turn 1, to see if anybody potentially causing. Oh yeah, there it is. Charles Leclerc could be out. Charles Leclerc is out of qualifying as he was rear-ended by Ollie Behrman. Charles Leclerc and Ollie Behrman are out of qualifying. Antonelli sets the base lap time. Sergio Perez actually beats him by half a tenth of a second. This is pretty close as we actually look towards Sonny Hayes. If I can see him on the not here, Joshua Pierce, sorry. As he starts his lap, is he going to have anyone to worry about? No, I don't think so. So we're going to go back to Gasly, who is going to potentially get traffic here at the very end of the lap. Yes, he will. That will severely affect his lap. Pierre Gasly, 7 tenths off the pace, and Bortoleto has got the provisional pole so far. Max Verstappen is probably the chance of pole potentially. He's been quite slow recent races, so that is a bit unfortunate for him. So hopefully this qualifying works out for him as he's on the grass there. Look how fast he enters that corner. Esteban Ocon getting hit by Joshua Pierce. And traffic with Joshua Pierce. I think Joshua Pierce is actually on his lap too. So Esteban Ocon, championship leader, 5 times off the pace, max traffic. But Max Verstappen rounds the final corner. Where does he put his car? Does he potentially go up with Bortoleto? No, he's down in P8. Sonny Hayes on the grass at the end there, with Antonio Giovinazzi directly behind him. Sonny Hayes goes P12 with Antonio Giovinazzi in P8. Lewis Hamilton on his flying lap here. So is George Russell. And you may have noticed in Leclerc's crash, he had a different livery. And Lance Stroll's also got a different livery. I have updated those two drivers' liveries. So Leclerc's got a bit of yellow at the top of his car. And that Stroll has got the Monaco special livery for 2026. There's another crash. And it is down at turn 1. It looks like Max Verstappen could be out of it. I think Verstappen is in serious trouble. No, not Verstappen, Hadjar. Hadjar is out, yeah. Hadjar is out, and Alex Dunn involved potentially at turn 1. Gasly as well. But Hamilton, back to Hamilton, he's going through the final couple of corners here. Lewis Hamilton will set his lap time as George Russell goes P3. Lewis Hamilton goes P1 by a second. He's a second faster than Bortoleto. That is absolutely mental. But Bortoleto starts his lap as well, so he'll be one to watch potentially. As Antonelli, he is on his flying lap as well. Bortoleto was fastest in sector 1, so that could be interesting as we're going to look at Valtteri Bottas, who's going for turn 1 here. He's going to have a slow McLaren to potentially avoid. We see what the like at the exit turn 1. Look how quickly they're able to hit the brakes. But Kimi Antonelli, we're going to head back to him now, who is going through the final chicane into the final 2 corners. Here he is, rounds the final corner of Sainz, Albon, I think it is, there as well. Antonelli does not improve his lap time. What about Bortoleto though? Bortoleto, he is definitely one to watch, or so is actually Pierre Gasly. He's starting his lap as Gabriel Bortoleto. Alex Duncan's in the pits. Bortoleto crosses the line. Can he improve? Yes, he does, but only by 2 tenths. He's 8 tenths behind Lewis Hamilton. Esteban Ocon starts his flying lap. Valtteri Bottas rounds that final corner. Can he improve his lap time? He does improve, but not by much, as we head to Vettel. who doesn't improve. But Ocon. I want to point out, only 14 drivers, I think Hayes actually might have a lap time, but only 14 drivers have a lap time on the board. It's a bit like Monaco, where only 12 drivers actually finished qualifying with a lap time. Alex Albon goes up to P8, as Lando Norris is flying lap as well. So is Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly crosses the line into P3. He's still a second behind Hamilton. Esteban Ocon, I'm looking for him on the timing sheet. There he is. He crosses the line. Does he take pole position? No, he doesn't improve. Esteban Ocon, championship leader, is in P4, it looks like. As I'm matching him to Verstappen now, who is 2.6 seconds off the pace. Max Verstappen, he goes through the final corner across the line. Can he improve from 2.6 seconds to... No, he cannot. Lando Norris, he does also not improve his lap time, as a lot of drivers will not finish this session with a lap time. Sonny Hayes is also 4.5 seconds off pace. Welcome Joshua Pierce too. Joshua Pierce, he puts that car in P15 still. He's still quite slow, as Sonny Hayes rounds the final corner. Can he potentially improve his lap time? He does improve, but not by much. Antonio Giovinazzi is the last guy on a flying lap. Round the final corners, Antonio Giovinazzi crosses the line in P11, and Lewis Hamilton is on pole position by 8 tenths. 5 drivers DNF from qualifying, 8 not getting a lap time in. Welcome to the German Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton's on pole with Gabriel Bortoleto in second place and Pierre Gasly in third. Lando Norris in P4 with fifth place George Russell, and Sergio Perez, another great call from him, in P6. Kimi Antonelli lines up in seventh place with Esteban Ocon in 8th and Alex Albon in 9th. Sebastian Vettel is in 10th place with Antonio Giovinazzi in 11th. 12th is Max Verstappen, 13th is Valtteri Bottas, and 14th is Carlos Sainz. Joshua Pierce is in 15th with Tony Hayes in 16th, and Hulkenberg, last pole sitter, in 17th. Duns 18th, Piastri 19th in no time as well, Stroll 20th in no time, Alonso 21st in no time, Barron 22nd in no time, Hadjar 23rd no time, and Charles Leclerc 24th with no time. It's interesting to see there Piastri, Perez, Dunn and Barron on hard tyres. It's lights out where they go. Hamilton gets a great start from Bortoleto. Bortoleto slots in behind him. Hamilton does lead this race. It's Bortoleto looking on the inside, potentially down in turn 2. Looks like all clear from the drivers. Look at Pierre Gasly though. He's right there. Hamilton and Bortoleto side by side for turn 2 and 3. Hamilton still leads this Grand Prix now, as Gasly's all over. Bortoleto is look further down the field. Perez on them hard tyres, slow off the line of Esteban Ocon, championship leader in P7. There's looks like Vettel and Giovinazzi and Bottas were going side by side there, as we now head back up to the front, as it still looks like Hamilton has a 0.7 second lead from Bortoleto. He seems to be set up for qualifying Hamilton potentially, not at the race start unless it was a slow start for him. His teammate, who started last, is up into P20 as Barron is down to P24. But Giovinazzi is all over Lewis Hamilton onto lap 2. Giovinazzi on the inside of Lewis Hamilton. Bortoleto. Bortoleto takes the race lead as Hadjar drops down to P24 as yellow flag in sector 1 because there is a virtual safety car deployed and there's a lot of cars going slowly there. Vettel is out of this race with Giovinazzi off the track. It seems like the two Porsche drivers have collided as Giovinazzi is potentially stuck there. We're seeing him try to recover. It's difficult, he thinks, to recover. Might be getting a bit stuck on the curb. Well, he does recover there. As Giovinazzi, I keep getting Bortoleto and Giovinazzi mixed up. Giovinazzi and Vettel collide for Porsche, as Hamilton is about a second behind. Half a second behind now. He's gained a lot of time at this virtual safety car restart. Look at Hamilton, he's all over Bortoleto. Hamilton all over Bortoleto there, as we head down to the midfield of Max Verstappen, who's in P13. Well, it seems like Williams in P10 and P9 of Albon leading this. Of crash far back there. It looks like there's a lot of dust in the airport. Bottas is spun round of Hulkenberg out of this race with another virtual safety car on lap 3. It is coming in now as we head to championship leader Esteban Ocon, who's in P5. He's ahead of Sergio Perez and just behind Lando Norris out on track there. I'm surprised the medium tyre runners of Bortoletto and Hamilton are so far ahead these soft tyre runners as we head back to Bottas and Verstappen, who look pretty close there. Does Bottas have any damage after that collision with Hulkenberg? Here's our championship leader, Esteban Ocon, in the pits, and the safety car deployed after Behrman and Giovinazzi collide, and seems to be a lot of debris flying there, as I can't actually see where they are. I wonder if there's cars despawned. Hadjar in P20, safety car is deployed though. So here they are, Bortoletto and Hamilton stays out. Bortoletto pits. That's an interesting strategy choice for Hamilton and Ferrari. Remember, Hamilton is a championship contender, as his teammate is actually stuck behind the safety car on P18. With this Bortoletto exit though, imagine he'll exit in P2. He will exit in P2 on hard tyres. Esteban Ocon in P6, just ahead of Perez. Imagine that he was in P5 when he originally pitted, so imagine that safety car kind of screwed him over a little bit, but Hamilton still had the pits, so that potentially save him. So Hamilton is yet to catch up to the safety car, so I don't think he will, so there's probably a chance for him to still pit here and exit behind Bortoletto, but maybe just in front of Gasly, and that might just save his race. Let's see, he's coming around now. He probably has to pit. He'll have to pit now. He'll have to pit now, unless his teammate's pitting. Lap cars may overtake, so safety car's coming in this lap, which is interesting because no cars behind him, as it's actually Leclerc, Stroll and Hadjar are going to be held up by this safety car, as technically they're not lapped. So they're stuck behind him, but where will Hamilton exit? Will he exit in front of Gasly? This is the question. He's behind Bortoletto. He will be behind Bortoletto quite a bit, I think. He won't catch up to the safety car from here, I doubt. But here to exit. Will he exit in front of Gasly? It might be quite close. There's Gasly. We can see him down there. He will exit in front of Gasly. He wasn't close in the end. I was wrong. But I'm looking for packed up cars together. It's kind of between Sainz down to Russell, and then it's Verstappen to Albon. Verstappen pits though, so that's interesting. And it's kind of Piastri to Hayes. Piastri pits. And I imagine Hayes will too, actually. No, Hayes is not pitting. But the safety car, they're not all bunched up. In fact, Bortoletto's caught safety car, so Hamilton might just. So is the safety car in this lap? I doubt it will be, because there's nobody's caught up to it. But usually lap cars in this lap means it will be in the pits. But no, it's not. It's going out an extra lap. I'm assuming they're trying to get as much cars to catch up to as possible. Because otherwise it's effectively a virtual safety car for some cars. So Hayes pits. Will he exit far down? I don't think he will. Well, we don't see Sainz finally catching up to the safety car of his pack down to Albon. And then got a big gap to done by 10 seconds roughly. Safety car is ending, so Bortoletto lead from Hamilton. Hamilton's on one lap soft pressure hard tyres. So let me potentially see that come to effect. Lap 7 out of 16 though. Here we are, going green flag. Bortoletto is away. He's yet to win a race this season. Hamilton's won one race in round 1, and Gasly, who's in third place, won the last race. Hamilton is close to Bortoletto, so that is a bit interesting. Keep in mind, both Porsche drivers are out. Ollie Behrman is out and Nico Hulkenberg is out, but Gasly is all over Lewis Hamilton, down the back straight, into the hairpin. It seems like Hamilton potentially ran out of battery, but the whole pack was not packed up together. In fact, we still got Hadjar, who's just crossed the line now, and Charles Leclerc is miles away from Sonny Hayes, who's miles away from Fernando Alonso, who's miles away from Oscar Piastri. But here is Pierre Gasly looking on the inside. Now, look at that. He's not just going to back out, but we see Lando Norris arrive on the scene as Bortoletto's got a 1.2 second lead as we head now back to Carlos Sainz and Esteban Ocon, our championship leader, who's in P6. Bortoletto's just the fast lap of the race. But Ocon on soft tyres, 4.5 old soft tyres. Down the inside, there's contact, he's upside down, he's flying. Esteban Ocon is away, and as a yellow flag sector 1, there's 3 cars out. And there's a red flag deployed. A red flag on that lap 9, unsurprisingly. Ocon Perez and Sainz out at down turn 1 after Ocon went into, I think it was Sainz he went into, and went flying over into the grandstand. That's the biggest crash we've seen yet. But here we go. Race restart. 5 red lights. And his lights down, away they go on lap 9. Bortoletto on soft tyres leads the race. Hamilton down the inside of Bortoletto through turn 1 after originally getting a worse getaway. Now he's going to back out a little bit. It's really ran out of battery potentially. And we see Norris and Gasly go side by side for third. Norris on their medium tyres. Gasly on soft tyres. Antonelli on soft tyres. Antonelli! Through goes Antonelli into P3. But look at Gasly fighting back as Norris drops down behind Russell. Mercedes have returned since season 1, it looks like, in this race, after they've dropped off for season 2 and season 1. Lewis Hamilton, I failed to notice, leads the Grand Prix as Antonelli drops that back down to P4, Russell on P5. Lewis Hamilton leads the Grand Prix, but Bortoletto is all over him. No, he's not, he's dropped miles back again. As we head down to Charles Leclerc, who's on hard tyres, behind Fernando Alonso, ahead of Sonny Hayes. Verstappen touching the grass there as we see Piastri make moves up in P10. As Bottas is defending off Verstappen for P11. As Cadillac trying to score their only point in this race potentially. As one of their drivers are out of this race after that monster crash earlier on. Here goes Verstappen and Alonso side by side. Alonso on the hard tyres gets past Verstappen. As we head back up the order to Alex Dunn, who's making his way up the field ahead of George Russell up into P5. Braun GP looking like they're going to score roughly 25 points here, with Gasly third and Dunn currently 5th. Lance Stroll and Sonny Hayes there. Lance Stroll on the new in the new livery on for some fresh 2-lap-old soft tyres and fighting for P16. Lance Stroll darts to the inside potentially. No, he backs out. This race has gone all chaos since Esteban Ocon effectively just murdered Carlos Sainz. As look at Lando Norris and Alex Albon side by side. Lando Norris dropping down the order, down to P8 now as he's behind Alex Albon, and he's got his teammate directly behind him. We see him background there, Pierce and Bottas, quite close to each other as well. Antonelli's taking third place off Pierre Gasly, but Pierre Gasly looking to the outside of the hairpin. He's going to back out from that one. Probably that's probably the best decision, as it was going to get very close there. Verstappen and Leclerc side by side with a slow moving Joshua Pierce and Fernando Alonso just in front. Verstappen goes up side by side as Joshua Pierce now for P12. He's ahead after a bit of contact there, but we see Joshua Pierce still side by side and now back ahead of Charles Leclerc, potentially looking at it. No, Verstappen on the inside and ahead for the right-hander, as Pierce is now side by side of Charles Leclerc, as Bortoletto gets a little closer to Lewis Hamilton up in front, as Antonelli defends his third place. Bortoletto is a lot closer to Lewis Hamilton. Russell and Bottas pit after 4 free laps on them soft tyres, as Antonelli is caught to Bortoletto. Bortoletto's tyres just dropped off and looks like ran out of battery potentially as well, down the back straight, as Antonelli is caught right up. We just got onto the action of Albon and Norris and Piastri there through the hairpin. It looks like it was very close to contact, too close to comfort potentially for Alex Albon and Lando Norris there, as the top 3 are separated by 2.6 seconds. As we head back down to Piastri, he's chasing after Alex Albon, trying to potentially get up here, as Pierre Gasly's also dropped down the order, as potentially his tyres dying, as Lewis Hamilton, Bortoletto and Kimi Antonelli pit. Alex Dunn will lead the Grand Prix after 4 laps of them soft tyres, the rest pits. Will Alex Dunn be able to manage on these medium tyres? Lewis Hamilton just ahead of Lance Stroll in P7. He's got a bit of a gap to Hadjar and Hayes, but imagine that gap will shrink instantly, which it did, as Hadjar is now going to be overtaken potentially by Lewis Hamilton into the hairpin. Hamilton wants to try to clear Hadjar as quickly as possible, as Bortoletto is out of this race. It's Bortoletto and Lance Stroll, they've collided. Lance Stroll is out of this race. Yellow flag sector 2, as Bortoletto, who was going to be fighting for the race win, is now out, and now both Audis are out of this race, as Lewis Hamilton did get past Hadjar. We saw that as he chases down Hayes. He's probably actually okay with this gap to Hayes. The assumption that Hayes might pit soon. Norris in the pits after 5 laps in the medium tyres. Dunn goes the extra lap, it looks like. Alonso up into P3 here. Is Hamilton going to get past Norris after his safety car after his pit stop? Yes, he will. Kimi Antonelli is in the big absolute tussle here with Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll. A guy in the pit lane there, Lando Norris. As we better watch out for him. This is absolutely mental. Look at all this. Heading down, we see Alex Albon, Lance Stroll side by side of Alex Albon. He's going to now continue side by side. Lance Stroll potentially got damaged potentially as Lewis Hamilton catches up to Sonny Hayes. I want to go watch that in a second, but we're watching this because it's absolutely mental. Lance Stroll is so slow on the straight as he's now potentially caught back up to him. Kimi Antonelli and Oscar Piastri fighting there. No, Kimi Antonelli cruises past Valtteri Bottas, but Oscar Piastri cruises past both of them. That was mental from Oscar Piastri. What a brilliant move. Hamilton gets past Hayes. Dunn goes the extra lap. He's potentially going to try to get to the end here and win this Grand Prix. Out of nowhere, I reckon that'll be as Norris tries to get past Hadjar. Norris does get past Hadjar. As Hamilton is in P4 still. As Hamilton in second place in the real life F1 World Championship after Monaco. Hadjar pits after 6 laps of soft tyres. What are these medium tyres looking like for Alex Dunn? Charles Leclerc in P2 after starting last place. That's a brilliant result if he finishes there. I actually think Hamilton is in trouble and he might not even get on the podium this race. Hadjar and Stroll in the pits as we head back down to this fight in the middle. Gasly and Russell side by side as they enter the left-hander into a long sweeping right-hander. Does Dunn pit? Dunn is into the pits. Alex Dunn will pit. Charles Leclerc will lead onto the final lap of this race. Charles Leclerc, I'm pretty sure he's won a race this season. I actually can't remember. There's been so many race winners this season, I can't tell you. But I think Charles Leclerc will win this race as Alonso is overtaken by Lewis Hamilton. Ferrari look like they'll get a 1-2 here. As Alex Dunn, where will he exit? Will he exit into just behind, oh, I thought I was being contacted Norris there. Alex Dunn exits into P8 as Oscar Piastri potentially catch up to him here a little bit, but I doubt he'll get past him. Lewis Hamilton, I think, might be a bit miffed about this result, I think. But Charles Leclerc are literally doing the last two first. As we look at George Russell, Pierre Gasly and Sonny Hayes as well here as this is very close. Hayes and Gasly side by side to 4th. Hayes drops down to 5th. Gasly gets 4th. Charles Leclerc has done an absolutely magnificent drive to pull off a last to first. Charles Leclerc rounds the final corner to win the Grand Prix. I'm pretty sure it's his second race win of the season. Lewis Hamilton gets second for Ferrari 1-2. Alonso gets third for Aston Martin. Pierre Gasly will get 4th as Hayes tries to defend his 5th place off Alex Dunn. He will defend his 5th place off Alex Dunn. There's a bit of contact at the end there. Norris, Russell, Albon and Piastri rounds out the top 10. Piastri loses out to Albon on the last lap. Bottas involved in the collision earlier on. Pierce, Hadjar and Stroll to round out the grid of the finishing board. We see the podium here, 1-2 for Ferrari after Charles Leclerc completed the last to first, with Hamilton in second place and Fernando Alonso in third for Aston Martin. Absolutely brilliant. So after that, it's Gasly, Hayes, Dunn, Norris, Russell, Albon, Piastri, Antonelli, Verstappen, Bottas, Pierce, Hadjar, and Stroll rounds out the finishing order. It's Borletto, Behrman, Giovinazzi, Vettel, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Perez. They didn't actually retire in that order, but yeah, interesting. As here's the driver standings, it's Hamilton leads with 100 points, with Charles Leclerc making massive gains in the championship to get into P2 with 94 points. Esteban Ocon, 89 points, drops 2 places. Lando Norris, 84 points. Verstappen, 82 points. George Russell with 75 points. Pierre Gasly, 71 points. Alex Dunn, 68 points. Borletto, 60 points. Only Baron, 58 points. Oscar Piastri, 54 points. Hülkenberg, 52 points. Giovinazzi, 46 points. Hayes, 40 points. Antonelli, 35 points. 31 points. Carlos Sainz, 17 points for Valtteri Bottas. 18 points. Joshua Pierce, 19 points. Sebastian Vettel, 26 points for Sebastian Vettel. 20th place is Sergio Perez with 23 points. And then we get Fernando Alonso on 21 points, Hadjar on 18 points, Albon on 13 points, and Lance Stroll last place in 6 points. I was right, Charles Leclerc won round 4 of his championship and round 12, so he becomes the second multiple race winner of the season behind Hulkenberg, who's actually only finished in the points 3 times. 2 which are wins, and he's only finished the race 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. As the Constructors' Championship order is Ferrari 194 points, Haas 147 points, Brawn 139 points, McLaren 138 points, Audi 112 points, Mercedes 110 points, Red Bull 100 points. That's the same amount of points Lewis Hamilton has overall. Porsche 72 points, 72 points they've scored this season and in their whole entire F1 career, I think, after scoring 0 points season 1, 2, and 3. Apex GP 69 points, Cadillac 53 points, Williams with 44 points, and 27 points for Aston Martin. Guys, make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button and get ready for the British Grand Prix next time out. It's the final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 races of the season. Who will win the championship? Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, Lando Norris, or Max Verstappen? Heck, even George Russell, the top 5, is only separated by 25 points. Guys, make sure you like button and the subscribe button. Don't miss out on another video. Until next time, goodbye.